guy's getting girls off this campaign.
I was never big on social media. I never saw myself using social media much.
I was thinking about that in literally in the shower today because I was like, we've always spoken about it.
Okay, you were thinking about Michael in the shower.
Hey, yo.
You follow academics.
No, I do not. Okay, listen. I never hated a blind guy so much.
Yeah,
real.
there's value
And he
there.
actually
Yeah.
ran.
I'm not a myth. But
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Disruption Podcast.
Yes,
Thank you for
sir.
joining us.
Come on.
Welcome.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this around. If you're back and you aren't subscribed, that means you enjoy it. So subscribe. Rate us on Spotify. It's no the Baghdaddy,
Chief Olosoji in the building, baby.
It's your girl Maui Z.
and we've only gone and done it. We've got the social media senator,
Come on.
the West Side's winner,
Come on.
the mayor of Melton himself.
That's it.
Michael Tat is with us today.
Round of applause for Michael Tat, everybody.
thanks, guys.
Welcome.
Far from the mayor of Melton, I'm just happy to be in council.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
coming.
see.
It's coming.
Hey, who knows? But I guess we'll get Plan A underway, and then maybe Plan B would be who knows what. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster so far of a year for me. But yeah, I mean, ask away. If you got any questions?
Definitely, man.
Yeah, just go for it.
For sure.
Sure. I guess obviously, firstly, for the people, Carlos is not here, as you can see, but we have got Carlos 2.0. So it should be a good episode for sure. I mean, how are you? How's life? How's everything? How we all doing?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, well, I gotta say, the past couple of weeks, I've been in one location to another.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's I was a guy who was never using social media before all this, and now I'm using it. I have to use it every day. I'm getting random phone calls randomly, from kids from high school or people.
Yeah.
And people I haven't seen for years since my high school days are hitting me up saying
Right.
how's things and all that.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is your number on a flyer or how are they getting it?
I actually don't know. 'Cause I think I had to register somehow with council stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they go as far as to actually look up the council contact and everything.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I should have maybe I should have made a burner phone.
Yeah,
but,
I reckon.
but I enjoy it because getting a lot of phone calls where people say, "I love what you're doing. You're like an inspiration. You're my role model."
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
I genuinely I like doing nice stuff and all that. And I think the world just goes round once you actually keep it forward.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe it. But
Man's still on campaign right now. Hitting us with the
I'm not.
He's media trained.
I'm not trying to go on speeches or anything.
No, feel free to. Where does this all start? There's so many questions I have. Whole life in Melton, or were you born in another part of Melbourne or outside of Melbourne, or
Actually, I wasn't even born in Australia.
Okay.
My family's South Sudanese, but I was actually born in Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I came here when I was actually about 1 or 2 years old. Basically 1 year old. We actually lived in first grade for a bit.
Yep.
And then we went to. I guess we arrived in Melton when I was about 4 or 5. It was about 2004 to 2005 when the house was getting developed.
Okay.
So once I got there, it was basically a farmland. It was not much houses there besides ours and a few others. It's
That's crazy.
yeah. So it was crazy because it's changed so dramatically.
Yeah.
It's more people have moved there. People are just living there now, and I if you looked at it back in the early 2000s to what it is now, it's completely changed. I guess I didn't come to realize how much it's changed until I was thinking back to the days where I was riding my bike through basically nothing but dirt, where it's basically
wow.
put this house here.
now there's houses there. It's and then I go I remember when I was a kid, I got told off for riding my bike on someone's new property, and there's they just formed a house there. So I'm passionate about Melton because I've just spent a good chunk of my life there, and I don't think that's a weird thing. I think it just means that I just care, and that's more than enough for me.
Yeah. So you're saying about almost 20 years you've pretty much been in that Melton area for that.
I'm 25 now.
Yeah. Jeez, man. Well, I want to say then, you said it's been a wild and crazy year, yeah? What was the beginning of the year What did that look like for you?
Yeah, and did you know you were going to be doing this by this time of the year?
Well, I was always actually invested in politics. I guess we'll get into that
For sure.
soon enough. But for the start of the year, my birthday's in January on the 7th. 2 days after my birthday, I was in a car accident.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was like a wet, rainy day, and so insurance wouldn't cover it based on the being a third party and everything. So it just basically was a difficult year because basically with my car accident, it hit every sign. Like I went on a huge curve, and it basically hit every sign that was around that area.
Right.
And it was just entering Bacchus Marsh. And the police were at the scene pretty straight away. They checked on me. I was doing fine. It was just bad weather. I mean, there was nothing. I saw something on the road. I thought like I saw an animal like entering the road at the time.
There was nothing.
But no, it was a plastic bag. But I saw
No
it was like
way.
a
You got done by a plastic
yeah,
bag.
I know, man. I know. Hey, trust
And
me.
that's why Melton needs
Yeah,
better
yeah,
garbage
okay.
disposal.
I thought it was like I thought it was
Jeez.
I thought it was like a cat or a rabbit at the time.
Right.
So I swerved. I went on the dirt road.
Yeah.
And just like went on the wet grass, spinned out of the way, hit every sign imaginable. I got heaps of photos for it. But the car was totaled.
Wow.
And that's just one situation. Another situation was my job was kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Where I guess we were just having employment issues where we weren't selling enough product because I'm not going into
That's
into
fine.
detail about the job because I don't want to put my work out there as well. But things have gotten better, and now we're working way more frequently.
Nice.
But now, I had to take more time off work because I've been focusing on politics.
Come on.
And so it's basically been 2 weeks where I've had to dramatically reduce my work hours just so I can give this the attention I always wanted to. Because, with politics, I've actually wanted to do this for over a year. I planned on running for council for a year. But because of those other situations, it just threw me off where I was hesitant to even run for council this year. But I figured I may as well because I'd have to wait 4 years. It's like a small fee. It's a small fee of like 250 or something.
Bro, you got to pay to run?
Second?
You got to pay to run?
I paid to, there's like a nomination fee. But
I hear it. That's kind of smart. Like, it just
What,
weeds
barrier of
out.
So it's not just
Yeah,
one.
like who's
Well,
just being silly.
You can't have like fake people running and stuff.
of
I mean,
Okay, right,
That
right.
makes sense.
I feel like a lot of people thought I was running, being fake and all that, but I'm just.
Well, you
Not
put
gonna
money
lie,
down.
I was probably one of those when I first came across your videos on TikTok. I was like, is he just pulling everyone's leg? Is he serious?
No.
Like, what's going on?
Fair enough, because I agree. I did things in an unorthodox manner, like something that you don't expect from a politician or a would-be politician. But I think I just did. I was just myself.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you had asked me a year ago, I probably would have been more professional how I was handling this. But since I figured I'd try to do things that would set me apart from everybody else, so I went on a plane. I did like
can see that. That
I
was
was
cool.
going to
That was cool.
random places. I was going to random locations to set me apart from every other politician, and I think it just worked out.
Yeah, you know what was really dope about watching your... It was like a 1 week run of social media. It's been a week, right? Like, it hasn't
2
been
weeks,
long.
roughly.
Okay.
I mean, it depends. It was basically the first week was me basically getting everything ready.
Yeah.
And the second week was basically just me doing everything.
Yeah,
It was like I can't believe I did all that because I was exhausted by the end of all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just had to. I crashed out.
Yeah.
Spend the entire weekend resting.
Yeah, wow.
And now I'm just waiting for the
Yeah.
results.
It's so cool because it's like kind of just watching your thing. It was funny seeing it just in between group chats, like people sending it through, like, yo, this is dope, this is dope, this is dope. But then just like kind of going, wait, hold up, like on the real, this is a young person that's actually engaged so many young people and a bit older people in politics. And it's like, you don't see that very much. I like, let's be honest, well, you also don't see that from many non-white Australian young people as well getting involved in those spaces. And I was like, it's so cool, like just seeing someone go, nah, I reckon I can just do this.
Yeah.
And actually doing it, regardless of what the poll outcomes are or whatnot. It's
Yeah.
like, people really tapped in.
Yeah,
I was
they
thinking
do.
about that literally in the shower today because I was like, we've always spoken about it.
Okay, you were
before.
thinking about Michael in the shower.
Hey, yo.
Oh my
Hey man, I'm flattered. I'm
So
on it.
Okay.
these are all the part of the things that are starting to come now, man. Everyone's thinking about you. That's crazy. But I was just thinking about it because we've spoken about it before. How like we're like, yo, we should just be getting a bit more involved and doing things more. And I was like, oh, like why not just get involved in local council? And I mean, I don't know what the barrier of entry is. I don't even know how you do so. Like who you go and see. Do they just like check out your resume a little bit and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, you can come hang with the gang. Like I don't know what it is. But we've never even like taken the step to. But then it made me think like, yo, do we just have a generation that just does not care about wanting to get involved? Or like, why do you think that we lack that engagement? Maybe from an ethnic background? Or I don't even know if it's an ethnic.
Partially, maybe. But I think, I mean, it's there's like heaps of conversations you can be having on this topic alone. I think the core, to its core, people just are tired of politicians. I mean, I don't mean to insult every politician. People just, I mean, I want to bring back, people having faith in politicians. And it comes down to that because I feel like that's the best way to engage young people, be the change you want to see. And I've got to practice what I preach. And the best way to do that is just, just doing something that's new, but something that sets me apart from the standard politician. And that's not an offense to every person that's a politician. It's just something that I think would work with just not like everybody in our culture, but young people as a whole. And I think and I think I'm seeing the results of that because it seems like it's working, and I'm impressed how well it's done in the short span of time. I mean, I wish I did this like a week prior. Because I'm thinking like, I guess I always wonder, did I do this too late? Did I do things too unserious? I mean, I wanted to start TikTok sooner, but I thought it'd make me look unprofessional. Right. And then I was like, you know what? No, this is my personality. So, I got to do things my way. 100%. And it's just somehow working. And I'm just here for the ride, I guess.
Australia is pretty interesting though. Like, I feel like for a long time, at least for what I've known, there's been this certain like Australia just has a distrust with its political figures and a lack of respect. I think
for leadership,
for leadership as a whole. Like that's kind of. And I was looking at some comments. It's probably actually even about a lot of the Candace Owens getting her visa revoked stuff recently.
I saw that.
But I was just looking through the comments of that, and everyone's like, I mean, what are we surprised about? Australia is not one of those that we care too much about politics. This, that. I'm like, oh, is that really the case? Like, even older generations think this. Younger generations, we're just here not tapping in as much as we should. I mean, I don't speak for everyone, but that's kind of what I see. But then also now older people as well. I'm like, damn, is there a whole generation of Australian older people that are just like, oh, we don't really care. We don't take these guys serious. Like, sure, we'll vote one dot because we have to, blah, blah, but we don't expect anything to really come from this. So it's an interesting landscape that we're kind of in as Australia for it, Dave.
Sure.
I want to still remain in like earlier of this year, right? So, because if we're saying that this has been the past, when did you actually decide, like, I'm going to decide to run?
I actually was doing an internship with Victorian MP, and I was in a political party for about roughly a year. So it was, I learned a lot from how to campaign and everything. And I think I've got some positive and some negative stuff as well. But I think I can use the skills I learned there to benefit what I'm doing now. And I think that's actually what I've been doing, because now I've actually figured out some useful skills, but I've also figured out some flaws that I can learn from that they had, and I can add it to, what I think it would be a good campaign. And I guess we're just seeing the works of it. Not saying I've done anything perfect, because I'm thinking I've got like 20 flaws every now and then happening. But especially with editing, I'm guessing you probably see that. A lot of my videos, I'm amateur. I don't have the setup. I got a phone, and I'm just going around and I'm just recording. And then I'm just posting it and hoping for the best. But
I think that raw aspect of the videos is what made it work as well, though. Like if it's too edited to whatever, it's like, oh, he's got a machine behind him. But it's like, nah, this is just Michael.
This is my account, no managing.
And Michael's doing this himself.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess if it works, it works. But it's not about me. I genuinely think if I can just change the mentality as a whole, for not just from one community, but for how the entire public sees everything. That's more than a win for me. I don't know. I was wondering if this was going to be like a 15-minute of fame for me. Like if I would do this and then after that, I mean,
It's quite.
yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
100%.
But if I can just achieve, my main ambitions right then and there, that's more than enough for me. Because I was never big on social media. I never saw myself. I already said it before. I never saw myself using social media much before. Now I've got to use it just for this. But I think it's more. I'll just. Yeah, as long as I can do this one thing, that's all. That's it for me.
It's such a dramatic change in lifestyle.
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
to be only doing work and like, being involved in politics peripherally, but then really pretty much just focused on doing your own work. You got your own circle of people, not really tapped into like what's going on socially. To now, as you're saying, people calling you randomly, to you now also posting regularly as well. Like that's such a shift and a change in what you'd have to be doing regularly. Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess that's just with the age of social media. I mean,
Sure.
because now everybody's got like everyone's got a phone. I mean, and people just use it to find more knowledge. I mean, I guess I can't complain because that's the whole point of me doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So now everyone is using the devices to find out what I'm doing, and that's the whole point. So I can't complain that I'm now suddenly just getting the attention that I was doing. So I mean, I can go on and on all day about this, but that's it.
What has been the most difficult part though of doing all of this? Like the campaigning, the having to film, the meeting new people, even just the fact that like you're now is this your first podcast, yeah?
Yeah.
The fact that like now you're probably going to get a bunch of people asking you, hey, can you jump on, do an interview? It's like, are you having to now, shift your mentality or not even just practice, I guess practice being able to come and speak and answer questions and all of that? Like what's been the hardest part?
Well, the hardest part was, I feel like, when I started, I felt like had I failed, people would have held, it's like something that people would have, remembered that I tried to do it, and then it blew up in my face, and then now I'm the one guy who's known for doing this, and most people think it was a joke. Just me trying, and I'll be honest, that was a huge factor. I think that was my biggest fear actually, because I'd be known for the guy who gave it a shot, but
Didn't work out.
Not just that it didn't work out. I just looked like a joke when I was doing it. Compared to how like other politicians were doing it, and how they were professional about it, but but it turns out I think it's actually worked in my favor because the young generation, I wouldn't say much for the old generation, but the young generation, they're definitely paying attention, and that's a good thing because I feel like people need to pay attention to politics.
Of course,
but
and that's the thing I was going to say. The younger people, we actually need to encourage them to start voting more, because the reason why politics and the world of politics is just so messed up, it's because it's the same people with the same mentality that grew up in the same era that are coming in. So it's like you have 4 years, you have, Sally. I don't know if there's any Sally that's running. I'm not talking about anyone specifically, but, you have a Sally who grew up, born in the 70s, and then the next person coming up is John, who was also born in the 70s. So they all kind of have like similar mentalities, whereas I like your approach in terms of like, all right, I'm coming to where the young people are. You guys are able to vote. You're at the age that you can vote, so let me try and encourage you. Because I was even going through your comments, and a lot of the people were like, oh, I never thought of voting before, but now that you've come up, I'm gonna vote. Like, you've encouraged me to vote. It's like, oh, I don't even care what you're saying, I'm just gonna go vote for you. So it was very encouraging, very like nice to see, because I'm like, we're the next generation that should be coming up to start taking over politics or these serious roles. I don't know how serious our people are, our generation is, but we should be taking those steps to start stepping into those roles.
I was gonna say, I also do think that why people as a whole, but young people in particular, kind of connect and are drawn to you is because we are in an age where we want like that authenticity more so, especially when there's so many things that look so contrived around us. And like, again, if there's such a big distrust from our generation with politics, is because we think that we're not seeing the real individuals. But you talk about thinking that everyone else does a more serious campaign. Like you'll see people, they'll do the whole like, I don't know, the going on the tram and talking to the clearly staged person or whatever it is, and
I know what you
all
mean.
those more serious looking campaigns. Traditional is a good word, like a traditional way to go about things. But again, that goes back to Miles saying like, this is just how a lot of things have been done. But we are in an age now where I think people will be like, nah, stuff all that. how can we redo this and how can we make this more real? So that's why I guess people are drawn to the guy that's doing what you think is whatever and just being you. But people are like, I mess with this. I have no idea really what this. I don't know what this is, but I'm listening. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
It's real.
And I know sometimes I guess my biggest critiques are that the fact that people say that say something like the Melton Hospital, it's not a council issue. They say it's a state issue or high up positions of power. But I'm saying that with council, you can actually apply so much pressure through council because, especially because Melton's the fastest growing region in all of Australia. It's not just Melbourne. It's actually the fastest growing. So we've actually
in all of Australia.
Yeah, it's all Australia. Wow. So it's it's actually it's the fact that a lot of people don't know, and it's more the fact that you need to apply pressure.
Yeah.
And even if I fail, if I can make this a normal conversation about things like the hospital or like things like reducing crime. I don't know why crime's been such a hot topic with not just like a lot of communities. Yeah. Not just in Australia, like worldwide, how to tackle it. Yeah. And I think there's realistic ways to do it, and that's not going to be controversial or anything like that. And I think just having adult conversations, but doing it in good faith, could actually just draw people back into politics and also do a lot to help people, and that's what it should be all about. And that's I like that approach of like it's just conversations and let's gather around, talk about this, and see how we can resolve things. Because I think, you ran as independent, correct? Yeah, it's like I'm guessing there's a lot of people where it's like I'm gonna die on the hill of my party, and it's like that. I think that alone is a thing of like, I'm not willing to have a conversation. No, and that's a huge factor as to why I've been doing the things I did do. Because again, when I was doing the things under other people's way of doing it in their political party, it was I've come to realize. I've got a lot of positive stuff to say about them as well, but I've come to realize it's a fool's errand because I would have to lose a lot of basically my moral code in order to do what they want to do it. It's more the fact that even the people in the say that party know it's a flawed ideology or anything. It's not just old people who are saying that, it's young people, like people our age and stuff, but they want to basically continue the tradition even with their critiques. Right. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of the cycle where it's like
the already existing machine that
we're
just turning over and just adding
career
people
politicians,
literally, and just continuing the same cycle.
Yeah, and that's a huge motive why I did because I'm not here to be this. Like, no offense to them, and no offense to the party, or no offense to every political group or any beliefs. I just don't like. I think even they don't like how just being a standard politician is, but it's because it's a status quo. Yeah, they just fall into it, and I think just being setting yourself apart is a good thing. So you got to start somewhere. I know I started in I did things in an amateur way, but I think I'd rather just go all out and be forgotten if I failed as a random no-name guy. And but if I do well, I do well, and I can inspire a lot of other people to do what I hope is important.
Would you? Honestly, I don't think you've done it amateur. I think you've done it different. I think you've done exactly what they've all attempted to do, which is engage people, and you've managed to do it better. So,
thank you.
Amateur or not, I think you've hit the nail.
You've hit the mark on that.
Yeah.
What would you then say that your main kind of pressing issues were around the Melton Hospital, around knife crime and violence and things like that, and why those two, or other issues?
I can think of countless times with something like crime. I can think of a lot of family members who have been affected by crime. One way or another, they've been just affected by it. And I think having a mature discussion about how to actually reduce it in a realistic way. Right. I'm not talking about a specific group of people because it's a plethora. So a lot of people in different groups, different communities, different religions, different races are all doing this.
Absolutely.
So it's mostly again repeat offenders. So I made the case to make repeat offenders my focal point because. It's just a case because
that's smart.
The courts. I don't want to have to drag this out where we blame the courts entirely, but the courts are letting off repeat offenders off time and time again, and these are the ones who are the common attribute as to why crime is so high. Interesting. And it's just it's a simple logic. and there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. It's like,
it's you're addressing
It's
what
a
is
fact.
there.
Like, it's legit fact.
It's
Yeah.
fact. And then like, because I did a presentation to my for my internship, and it was just like a lot of common the common ratio was repeat offenders, and if you look at certain situations, not just in Melbourne, but in Queensland, where say somebody who got stabbed, like an old lady who got stabbed, and the person that did that was a person who was on bail, or like on the like, and he had a history of crime.
Right.
I mean, this is like about just saving lives. It doesn't matter about who is doing it, who's and that's just being mature about the topic.
Oh, okay. I like that.
That's facts, because I think
narrowing it down to hone in on. You mentioned an actual practical way to go about doing stuff, as well as realistic. So it's not just like, hey guys, I want to stop crime. It's like, hey, this is something that we need to come and focus on. This is something we need to do. Sorry, off cam, the intern is trying to sort out.
Sorry, just mute it.
Yeah, no, you're good. But I like that you found somewhere to be able to like actually narrow down in on and say, all right, let's look at this right here and let's start addressing this particular aspect.
I think it's because people make politics more complex than it has to be. So if you can just find the thing where the majority of us agree on, like that, like everybody agrees on this, like how, like it might be a problem. Instead of making sides where we're picking one side against the other.
Yeah.
And then that's one of the issues with politicians, where they just fight amongst themselves because for whatever reason, it just doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah, I think it's like that endless debate of, we're so used to, I mean, we have this problem, I think outside, like in America, you have this problem even more, where it's like, we're so used to like the two-party system. You know what I mean? Like you've got your two major parties, and if you're outside of them, realistically, you're not going to go far.
Yeah.
But they also don't advance things very much because they're just there and money's involved and whatnot. And so it's like this endless kind of tug of war of like, if I'm not part of this, you're not like Michael, if you're not part of this, you don't get to make much change, because realistically, how far do you get to go? But if you are part of this, you don't get to make much change because there's a whole system that you got to go through and whatnot. So it's like, I don't know how we get through that kind of thing and go, okay, like you don't have to be part of this big machine and you can make change.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's entirely an accident that this is set up.
For sure.
And it is what it is.
You're probably right with that. Like, that's probably the only reason it's being able to sustain and be around this for this duration of time is because of that.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge. Basically, that's probably the whole factor as to what we're like. It is what it. The way I see it, it is what it is. It comes down to how I'm gonna like go around it, because, I mean, we only have one life, and the question is, do we want to have the same issues that these people who were here prior are having? Or are we just going to call it out, call a spade as best as possible, and just work around it, because that's the. I mean, I hope I think a lot of people don't think 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years down the line, where they think, I mean, where like our community, our race, our religion, just where humanity is going to be in 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. I mean, and I think having, like, dedicating your time to think where everything's heading towards with this current pace is a good thing.
When were the last? I'm trying to search it up right now. But the last council elections, when was the last time that we had?
It's usually about 4 years. 4 years.
Wow, a while ago.
Oh, I have no. Even me, like, I got the paper out. I was like, oh yeah, council elections, whatever. Cool. And I was like, oh snap! Oh, this is happening in all of Victoria. Okay, cool, bet. All right. I thought it was just us. Yeah, I thought it was just our people. Them. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I had no idea who was running. I was like, oh, this shorty looks cool. Like my one ever even saw it. I'm moving like an African dad, bro. Right. I was just like, let's just get this done.
Well, I think that's it. Everyone's got everything to do. I'm not blaming people who are.
No, but like, we should be more.
Look into it more.
Yeah, everyone's got like daily tasks and everything to do, and I don't blame them for like not being invested in politics every minute of every day. Like, I guess I was doing that mostly. I was always into politics, but I think COVID really switched me like completely, where I was basically watching nothing but politics. Yeah, like not just in Australia, but worldwide.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably to an unhealthy level, but I think it just made me like also it gave me a new drive that I've never realized until recently that I want to just like I have all these thoughts and everything, but what am I doing?
Might as well put them somewhere, right?
Yeah. It's like all this energy may as well go to somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's dope. I think it's a very, very positive example that you're setting for a lot of people. I think
for sure.
It's very cool. All right, so let's say poll results come in. Michael Tat is voted in, right? You've got the spot.
Yeah.
Do you know what council looks like for you? As in, like, so you go in. Do you have to get a team around you? Do they assign you a team around you? Is there like a set salary for you? Do you know what all that kind of looks like?
Yeah. So I've actually was going to like a lot of the council meetings beforehand.
Okay.
Like I tried to doing it like throughout the entire year. It happens like once a month usually, and council just usually is. So with council, you just basically have to just try to meet the standards of the people. I mean, council can do everything. I mean, yes. I know I might present it as it being like basically being the president of Australia and such, but it's not that powerful of a position compared to a lot of other states. But a lot of them just focus on they're just average people. Like a lot of them just focus on say like getting your bins done, focusing potholes, doing working on bus stops and everything, make sure everything works correctly. I think they do still have a lot of power.
I had the stupidest code. I think you missed what he said.
Yeah, no, I probably did. Sorry.
No, you said you just said working on butt. I said, wait, where are we going here? You said bus stop.
My bad. Yeah.
Sorry, this is a very childish podcast.
No. I know. I don't mean to bore them. If you guys want to talk about anything,
I actually love this.
Sorry, my phone's.
Bro, that's the politics caller right there.
Probably I can put them. I would grab it and put them on speaker right now if you want me to.
Should we actually start that?
Hey, go for it. I'm so down.
You know or you don't know?
He missed the call.
That's gonna be mum. Yeah. All right, sorry. Yeah, you were saying working on collecting bins, bus stops, like basically the functioning of the area.
There they are.
Let's go.
Hello.
Is this Michael Tat?
Yes, it is.
I was wondering if the results came back for the election.
The results should be in this time this week. They're just currently doing the still voting count.
Oh, you didn't find out yet?
No. It should be Wednesday, I believe.
All right, then. I was wondering.
All right. Thanks again. For did you watch myself on TikTok?
Yeah, I do. I followed you.
Yeah. Any advice you want to give me?
No, just keep being you.
Yeah, keep being me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks heaps. I promise I'll keep
Follow you back on
follow you back on
TikTok?
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Can you message me your TikTok account?
Yeah, I will.
All right. Easy. Take care. Bye.
Michael is getting Michael Tat is getting girls off this campaign. That's amazing.
Why should hit him with the cheeky voice?
I know.
Okay.
It was
turned off my
lowered.
phone. I turned off my It happens like
See, you've been getting those type of calls just randomly.
it's probably happened like this is like my 6th time this day, but
Michael Tat getting Michael
Wow.
Tat.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't believe how much people just hand out your number because I put on my stories. I said we need Michael Tat on this week's episode yesterday, right? No joke. Like 2 or 3 people just messaged me like, "Here's his number," and I was like, "I'm gonna call it, but this feels rude. Like, what do you mean his number's just out there?"
Invasive.
So,
Invasive.
I gotta know how they get it. I mean, I guess I put it out there, but I wasn't. I thought with council election. I mean, that's on me for like using my number. Like I should have used a burner.
Yeah.
I was planning to, but
It's just
I mean,
time for a new number for the real
I
ones.
gotta say, also when I'm at the like say shopping centers and everything, I get stopped like heaps of times. It's happened like 12 times where people just ask if they can take photos of me and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, oh shit. I mean, I'm just running for council. I'm like,
Okay. All right, so I was gonna ask you this: Are you gonna capitalize off this moment financially? Because I think you should.
I did. I mean, I'm not asking for donations or anything like that.
But
But you should.
Merch.
no,
I'm not kidding. Merch is what you need to do.
Merch. I don't know if that's professional. I did turn my monetization because I got over 10,000 on TikTok,
wow.
so I
Yeah.
just turned on like this. I don't know if I did it properly, but I was like, I'm trying
Wrong
to.
bank account.
I had to
and,
watch like 3 YouTube videos how to
Yeah.
like turn on.
Might be time
monetization.
to get a social media manager or someone to help you with that
Probably.
side of things.
I've had offerings, but it's like
Oh,
from
wow.
people I don't know.
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
You want someone you trust for sure.
I did try to involve my friends, but they were never into politics before this.
Right.
True.
So it's like I don't want to force like what
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah.
on them, especially. So it is what it is.
That's mad.
What's yeah?
I was gonna say I want to go internationally in terms of the
Politics.
politics, but even there, let's hone in on Melton still.
Yeah.
I always say it.
I want to know just before we jump into politics worldwide, all this, what is like in my perception, I'm like somebody young running for something like council one. I'm like, normally in my mind, I'm like, you have parents that really believe in you. Is that the case?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, no. I mean, my parents are supportive. I mean, I love my parents.
Yeah.
I think because I've done things unorthodox. I mean, they were happy when I was getting involved in politics.
Yeah.
But with I guess maybe I shouldn't stereotype, but African parents like shave your hair, do
Okay, yeah, they're like
try to
Like, this is what we're
presentable.
presentable.
And,
Air quotes.
because I've just always been my own person, I think
Yeah.
they've always been hesitant how I'd present myself to the public. But I think now they've eased off on
The public
how-
loves you.
Yeah, and well, they're getting other people in the community hitting them up, asking about me and stuff.
That's so dope.
And I'm glad it's working. They still have their own critiques about how I've done things.
Yeah.
But I just hope to still make them proud.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
That's awesome.
Interesting. What's Melton like right now? What's the best spots to pull up to in Melton? Because I've been there one time, twice. Yeah, twice now. All my
been
days,
more
and I
than that,
vowed
haven't
to
you?
myself that I wouldn't go back again. It was too far. But I actually went there again. I've been there twice now, right?
It is nice when you're there.
Yeah.
Word? I used to go a lot, like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is actually a nice spot. It's just far. It's really far.
Far
for
as
us.
heck,
Fair
bro.
enough.
I carried my passport with me, dog.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I think it's similar to. I mean, when I was actually driving here, I noticed that you guys have a lot of bushes and
Fresh air.
the outback and as
Yeah.
well, but fresh air, and, fresh air, yeah. But I think Melton's similar to this environment, but I
Yeah.
think the best places I can think of is. I mean, I guess it's probably not right next to the city, but I think Woodgrove Shopping Centre is a great
Oh
place.
yes.
Because it's got heaps of awesome places, as well as a cinema and other locations. But
Yeah.
I think also I like things like the parks, like the Van Park. There's other locations in Melton, especially they're expanding it dramatically.
Come on.
I might critique council and everything and everything else.
But some changes are happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's changes happening because again, when I was a kid, it was basically nothing, but now it's changed. There's an office works, there's a Bunnings. It's like new businesses. There's heaps of food
Yeah.
franchise.
Let's go.
We just got
Okay.
Wedgie.
So,
YG.
is it a drive-through one?
Yeah, drive.
Let's go.
Yeah. And
New and improved.
Yeah, go.
yeah, I was gonna say there's other locations. I don't know if you know Back Smash.
Back Smash, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never been there, but I know it's far too.
Yeah, it's far. It's it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from Melton.
Yeah.
But it's like
I don't rock with Back of Smash because
yeah?
one of my favorite people was driving there and a plastic bag went across the road.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to say. I took shit to all my friends in Back Smash, man. I don't know. I always make it there being a rivalry between Melton and
Yeah.
Backers. And I'm like, you guys got a shop. We got Woodgrove, but they
Yeah.
got a shopping center
Yeah.
called The Village.
Yeah.
And I just
That's not it.
Yeah, but it's still a good place. It's
Yeah.
Werribee Gorge.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
heard about where it was.
yes.
yeah, it's a nice place.
These all sound like places from like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Back of Smash,
Right,
Werribee
it's-
Gorge.
Yeah, we're just doing our own thing. That's
Yeah.
why it's probably known as a fictional place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro.
All right, rapid fire. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you for places in Melton, and just first thing that comes to mind, right? Best restaurant in Melton.
That's a good question. I got so many.
We need one, Michael.
Define. We're talking about big restaurants or small ones?
Just someone
Whatever you're like.
tasty
If you're in
munch.
Melton, this is where you need to eat.
That girl that just called you before.
Yeah. No, because that was going to be my next question.
I don't
Best
know.
dates.
I don't know. I don't know.
If you're taking her,
A little date. Where you
where
going?
would you go?
Bro, I don't know her age as well. So
That's a good point.
When I said, I was like, but let's just assume. Yeah.
okay.
But yeah.
If I had to pick, I would say, this is a good question. Like, I could say names, but I don't think you guys would know it.
No, it doesn't matter. But
no.
I'm being serious. You might be Keith Lee. And do you know who Keith Lee is?
I've
He
heard
just
the
made
name.
TikTok.
The guy in
yesterday.
America that basically goes to restaurants, tries food, and then everyone goes there.
Review.
So you might be Melton's Keith Lee.
All right, well, I would say this. Best pizza place I know of, like in Melton, is My Mate's Pizza. So it's near Woodgrove Shopping Centre. I went there since I was like 15, 16 years old.
Jeez.
And they had like the best places in Melton, I reckon. Another one is so many. I'm just thinking about how much time do I have to say. Give me 1 second. I'm thinking of kebabs, but my recent favorite kebab place shut down. So I'm thinking, they're not there anymore.
Yeah. No, that's calm. That's
10
calm.
years at a pizza spot. That's dedication.
That means it's a good pizza spot.
I mean,
What's your go-to pizza there?
Meat lovers.
Okay.
Yeah, usually
Standard.
meat lovers, but I like margarita. I like plain. Like
I agree. I think that's the best pizza.
Definitely.
Margarita.
Bro, I think Noah loves Michael.
Definitely.
Bro.
I do.
yeah, shit.
I do.
Say anything right now. I agree.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm just trying to get myself as the running mate on the campaign.
You're right. Yeah, you're not too far. You're not too far from winning that. But I would say like a lot of the, you know how I do free advertisements for like a lot of my videos sometimes.
Yeah.
I would recommend just hitting up my TikTok and following those free advertisements.
Right.
Because I can't. I feel like right now I'm just like rushing to think. I
got
need to
you,
say
yeah.
this.
Of
Need to
course.
say
Yeah,
this. And it's not fair because I know a lot of some of these people and they've always been nice people.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's like I'm pressured to.
Yeah.
I can't really think of like name them all at one
There's a
time.
lot,
Like, grab
yeah.
that.
What about a neutral one? Is like, what's a fun fact about Melton?
Fun fact?
Historical fact or a fun fact, like something like that.
Well, I already said though it's the fastest growing region, but you know the Saint Mary MacKillop.
Yeah, she was on the veteran safe.
Yeah,
from my high
she
school.
rode. She actually rode through Melton, like during the days.
Like on a horse.
Wow.
Yeah, on a horse.
Yeah.
back then.
Right.
So if I
Like
don't know
she
if you're
rode through, did she
religious,
stop?
yeah. Well, I mean, just
kept it
rode
pushing.
through, bro. I don't know. I had to do a report on her. And
Yeah.
that's why, you know,
She found Woodgrove. What was it?
yeah, mate, she might have. She might have. But
She sped through Tobacco's Marsh, bro.
She went to my mate's pizza.
yeah. But Melton actually has like a array of stuff. I mean, there's like I can see. I have to make more videos.
Yeah.
That's,
Show us
maybe that's the
everything.
next.
I'm serious.
Next stage.
Yeah.
Whether the council thing works or not, do that.
Yeah.
Do
Well-
the just show off Melton.
Yeah, and
Viceland.
I plan to. I mean, I've actually had like a lot of ideas. I wanted to also. One of my favorite plaques. I wanted to, you know, those chessboards that you.
Yeah, like the
big
big
ones,
ones.
yeah?
Yeah, but you set it up for the public to use.
That's
Yeah.
nice,
So I think that would be awesome to actually set it up
Yeah.
in the, like key locations for,
Yeah.
especially people who are seniors and everything.
Yeah.
Come on.
It would actually show them like it would let them be able to
Get their steps up.
get the steps up. But yeah,
If you
it's
make
like
moves.
I love chess. I like, you know, that's actually
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Strategic
board games.
game. It's good.
Yeah, so I
Hey
think-
man, clap up for Melton's very own,
Yeah.
man. You got my vote. I can't vote in that council, but I will vote. Bro.
well, I'll try my best to make you guys proud. Trust me,
Yeah.
I will.
Okay, hey man, let's play a top three though. Let's do that. Let's do a quick game. And then
Phone's
we'll
over there.
jump into it.
So, in line with all of this politics that we are doing, this one I reckon you will nail it most likely. All right, so today's top three is top three issues that voters are focusing on during the 2024 Australian election. So this is specific to Australia. All right, so today's top three was top three issues that voters are focusing on during the 2024 Australian elections. Of course, we are currently in the midst of the council elections. So who would like to kick us off with
can
their
go.
list? All right.
Don't have a name today, but let's make Chief great again. I reckon the top issues that we have are crime, inflation. This is meant to more say like transport. I should just say transport actually. Now I think about it.
Okay.
PTV, and then honorable mention is healthcare. But I don't know how much of an influence council can really have, local council government has on healthcare. That's more of a Australian federal. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, now I'm realizing none of my, I don't know how much council can MTat. One, interest rates.
Yeah.
2, employment and jobs. And 3, immigration.
That employment is a good one.
Yeah, okay. With me, I've got housing, immigration, and standard of living.
Okay.
And I guess again,
Cost of living.
I think so I gotta ask: was this topic about just Australian politics as a whole, or is it council?
Oh, it's a good question because
'Cause I
your
don't know the
answers are correct for a list, but I probably should have specified if it was Melbourne or Australia in general.
Right, let's do it.
But all right, I will do. I don't know which list I should do. All right, I'll just do Australian.
Yeah.
I'll do Australian general. All right, so what I'll do is I'll go from top 5, and then I'll list the top 3 afterwards.
All right, cool.
Yeah, just so we can kind of get a bit of variation going. All right, so in top 5, we've got crime and safety.
Okay.
So that's what the voters are, focusing on, trying to...
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5.
Snap.
Sorry. Yeah, you didn't make the list. In number 4, we've got economic stability. So people are worried about the economic outlook, job security, inflation, government spending, all of that stuff. So voters are looking into that. All right, so top 3, we've got health services.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so access to quality
because this
healthcare,
is
top
Oz.
issue. Yeah, this is Oz. So this is in general. This is general. In top 2, we've got housing affordability, of course, which is a big issue. Yeah,
It's like he knows the answers.
Yeah. So he's got that. And then in number 1, we've got cost of living, which we know is definitely...
I said standard of living. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that
I'm
one.
just going to put off.
I think you got
He's
it.
tapped in with what the people want.
Of course.
Fun
And that's why you should
extra
trust
writing.
him, guys, and vote for him. Most
With
definitely.
Michael Tat, man.
Okay.
I want your expert opinion, sir.
Yeah, let's get outside Australia.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Give me Michael Tat's take on the American election right
That's
now.
a really good question.
What's going on? What should we be looking at?
I knew I'd get asked this eventually. With the American elections, I'm really entertained. Not just entertained. I shouldn't say that.
It's
but,
true.
I think it's because it's how you view, say, somebody like Trump and somebody like Kamala. Because I guess both sides view them as like very extreme, like one way or another. But I think, I would hate to say it, but I think because I know it's very controversial. I do think Trump isn't as bad as a lot of people make him out to be.
Okay, let me hear this.
Yeah, I know.
Let me buckle in, man.
I think Trump is a symptom at a larger issue that's happening in America long before he rocked up. But I think the reason like half the country is currently backing him is because, I don't think they automatically are sexist or racist or anything like that. I think because Trump is his own person where it's basically he sets himself apart from other politicians who just happen to speak nicely. Like, I guess my biggest, this is a very difficult conversation because this is a conversation that's been being had since like 2016.
Yeah.
I guess most of us were young or kids even. I think Trump is a better politician in regards to somebody like, say, George W. Bush or President Obama, even like in some cases, depending on how you think foreign politics should be handled.
Yeah.
But I think he gets more flack than a lot of people who have been in positions of power for longer than he has. So I think it's only fair that you acknowledge his flaws, but you don't also just focus on Trump alone when the entire, I guess, establishment and everything that's come before him has been so. It's never been nice. I think it's how we address things, because things like certain foreign wars and everything. I mean, I think they were way more chaotic than what Trump's done, but because of how Trump's seen by the public and by the media, he's seen as the worst there is. And I mean, that's how I see it. It's hard to I know.
It's hard to condense all
it's
the
hard to
different thoughts you
condense
got,
it because I've actually doing even my mentality hasn't changed about this even doing high school, because a lot of people say I'm Trump supporter and everything, and I think I've got my critiques with Trump, but it's not what people would critique him for. and I think he's done better with certain foreign policies than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah.
You can say he's a narcissist. You can say he's like all this whatever about him, but it's more about the results. Results matter in the end, and and that's how it comes down to. And that's me giving him the speed run of my Trump opinion on Trump. But it's a lot to cover with Kamala. I think she wasn't really well known. I mean, I always paid attention to politics and how she debated Tulsi Gabbard, but she wasn't
I
really.
don't even know who the heck that is, boy.
Tulsi was actually a decent choice for what they had as the options.
I think the critique with the Democratic Party as a whole is, say, somebody like Bernie Sanders. I mean, he was kind of sabotaged.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't really say that you're the people of democracy and everything, but you do everything that's you do what fits your agenda at the time.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I can't really take a lot of their threats with Trump seriously. I have hindsight. I just think a lot of people, in positions of power make things like division their main drive, because unity is actually unity is hard to achieve.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Trump's good at perfect at getting something like unity, but I think are not as divided as things make it seem. I think it's the vocal minority that pushes everything out there, and they focus on the negative amongst each other. And because of that, we're just always having the same topic. Yeah. And I think these culture wars are a
distraction.
Distraction.
Right? Yeah.
It's a distraction. I'm not saying that most of them aren't important, but I'm saying that there's a lot to be gained by division. And
absolutely.
And I think remembering that is a key thing that would actually end the cycle where everything keeps happening again and again in these topics and these conversations. Yeah. And I currently I stopped focusing so much on foreign conversations and everything, because I want to switch everything to local, because I can't control anything that happens in America or around the world for every topic, but I can try to control something that happens like locally where I live. So I think that's why I've taken a massive step back from where I just talk or focus on foreign politics, because I want to change the stuff I can control. Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting watching America stuff. I think I lean towards what you're saying when it comes to Trump, for sure. Like in terms, especially when it comes to this election, I would lean towards like just saying he's the better choice. But I think there is something to be said about somebody who you've always got to give preface before I give my opinion. You know what I mean? Like there's something like it's like, and we all do that. Like I've done that on this podcast before as well. It's like I've had to like be like, I think he's better, but I still hear out that he's.
But are you saying he's better choice overall or for like specific things?
I think overall.
I think people say business wise for like the economy, he's great for that, and that's why he should be voted in. But everything else,
I think like foreign affairs, and especially when you're talking the Middle East, Ukraine situation would have never happened if he was in. The way they pulled out of Afghanistan, like I don't think that would have happened if he was in. I think this current administration made a mess of the whole situation across the board in many places, as well as the economy. Which I think that is the one where people like really real within their own country.
Yeah, they feel it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna give a hot take. I think Afghanistan would have been a mess regardless of the situation. I think it was the government itself in Afghanistan was propped up for like 20 years
by the US.
And it was basically designed. It was never gonna last on its own.
That's fair. That's a fair take.
And I think it would have been a disaster no matter. I mean, I guess unless you're always constantly occupying it, applying weapons. Because now look at it, like again, I don't want to get distracted too much on foreign policy. But if America spent $2 trillion on Afghanistan, and now they've basically have a situation where the Taliban, who back then were just using Soviet weapons that were handed, like from prior, now they've got like modern day American weapons and everything that's happened from the disaster. So I think there is I'm just going to say it. I think there is agendas being put by things like the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to get distracted. It's hard to like get into following policies where I lose myself in what I actually think mentally. Because again, I think that does distract me from the conversation I think everybody needs to have. But I'm not going to shy away from showing my I don't want to like go back into, I don't want to have the political standards where we fall back into political rhetorics where we fall in, where we just basically just give a standard political answer and then we don't really address anything because we
speak candidly about.
Yeah, if you've got to, I mean, for this, I mean, I'm just starting out, so I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect from here on out. But and I know I might even like ruin a lot of opportunities in the future when people look at this and say, no, he's wrong about this.
Well, they might not have just been the ones for you at the end of the
day.
And
that's probably it. And I've come to realize I can't, doing things other people's way, I said it before, is a fool's errand because I also want to be able to be myself enough where I get the job done. But currently, again, throwing like conversations doesn't really amount to much because I can't make any real decisions. I'm just focused on local government. And that's okay because I have more than enough to keep me distracted here.
I like what you said about not just falling into just typical stock standard rhetorics that have existed. Well, and that I guess that comes from the examples that we've seen and you know, in these positions and whatnot. Now, moving forward then, as a society, and Joe Rogan said this, I think this was part of his take on Trump, do we need to have a new standard that we set in terms of what someone should look like when they hold a position of power? Do we need, for example, IQ tests? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we, what's the yardstick that we use, the rule, you know what I mean, the measurement that we use to determine how, if someone can actually hold a position
is viable
of power?
for this.
Yeah, because I hear what you're saying before about like vision. Vision is something that's very hard to garner to get people to come around that. And once you do, nothing can stop you because you're pulling on the heartstrings of people and that's what's going to take you to the positions and places you need to get to. Aside from someone who can that's charismatic and who can, you know, get people around the vision, what else do we need to to determine if someone is actually good enough to come in? Because do we need to bring IQ tests?
No, fair enough. I mean, I think I think it depends on what you consider an IQ test. I think, well, I know like standardized tests, like even like doing, I know it's like something like in America they currently having a conversation where you basically have to, you know how immigrants like us or our families have to pass an Australian citizenship test? I think something like that where it's mandatory for anybody who wants to enter positions of power to go through.
Oh, I remember, what's his name talking about this? Guy of Indian background that was going to run for Vivek. Yeah.
I know.
I remember he was talking about that as well. And I was like, I kind of hear it.
I think that's the smartest way. Not just because it's not even about targeting one party or anybody who can seem considered un-American.
Yeah.
I think it's because you get people like say like during the war on terror with George Bush, you get politicians who say, let's deploy troops in this location, say, whatever, but they don't even know where it is on the map.
That's crazy.
So, and it's
That's
like,
so wild.
And it's like literally you're burning resources. You're killing. You get basically killing not just people who are native to that country. You're killing people who are like in the service as well. And it's like, and now you've made it
fully unaware of the implications and then where the region.
You make a power vacuum, and then like you've got more refugees. You got. And then it's like,
Facts.
you know, and then there's like with American politics, I don't want to keep bringing up American politics when I'm running for Australia, but I feel like they've got a failed up system where you can do bad as a politician, but you still, you basically still get into higher positions of power, and there's no real consequences.
Do you think we have that too?
To a degree, yeah, I think that's with
our prime ministers aren't great.
No. Well, I think Australia's gone through like heaps of prime ministers.
Yeah, we run through them like.
But I think it's like this is like a huge topic to get into because it's not just for this because every other I'm basically criticizing not just say American politics.
Like politics globally.
It's globally like it's how like politics operates as a whole, and I think. Us being the next generation, like younger people, I think that is. I want to be the change I want to see.
Yeah,
and I don't want to be entering the cycle where I just like I see why everyone hates politics, and I just go down the
Yeah.
path of it because it's the status quo.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
No, 100%.
Nah.
I think sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I know we were younger, and so like this is probably the first time in our lives where we're at that age where politics really hits normally. But I think also there's an element of like social media, all that kind of stuff has really thrown in our face, and I don't think life has ever felt so divisive, right? Like you just like there's an opinion on everything all the time, and it's always an opinion that just seems to have everyone here or here. And I'm like, does that lead at some point to just fatigue or exhaustion and people just tap out, and then it finally goes back to like all these politicians just have to go, all right, let's stop alienating people. Let's just relax with our approach so that we can actually have conversations and actually, which is what you're saying. Yeah. Like, because I just think otherwise it's like every issue just feels like the end of the world all the time.
Well, social media has probably made things, it's ramped things up.
100%.
But I think negativity, it's easy to be, it drives way more attention,
true.
and it's like more of an entertainment, because if things are doing like well and everything's peaceful, I mean, that's just more boring, let's be honest. People care.
If
people
it bleeds, it reads, right? That's what they say.
And that's why it's like everything seems like, I think everything gets prompted up, as well as like other factors and everything. But I think everybody I think the majority see the issue. How I see the world is as vocal minorities that, regardless of race, religion, everything like that, there's vocal minorities, but they manage to get in positions of power and they dictate what the vast majority wants. And and then I just choose to try to bring back positivity, because I feel like that's something that the world just needs, but I think that's everything everybody can agree on. But
I think that whole space for like nuanced conversation is something big as well. Because I was listening to a pod recently where there were two Christian guys, and then one is a Democrat, one is a Republican, and we're just trying to have a nuanced conversation on. We both believe the one core thing, which is our faith and whatnot. But okay, where do we stand with this, and what does this kind of look like? And it was just it was candid, just open, full of just conversation. Explain this. Oh, okay, I hear that, and now explain this. Okay, I hear your point of view. You don't have we don't have spaces where people are able to facilitate these type of talks, or to just, like you're saying, to just conversate and talk about things that really do matter. Because everything does end up being put up like it is gonna
the end of the world.
The end of the world. You know what I mean? Like this is you need to agree on this right now, or like literally we're done, we're finished. Which is a crazy polarity to have. Yeah.
Well, I think it's how I just like view the world, me specifically, because I just think we don't want to fall in the same traps as what leads Americans to be so divided. So I think to see that change in Australia, regardless of whatever topic we're talking about, like say whether it's crime, whether it's how the media, like everything's represented and everything, I just want to be the change I want to see. And that's why I've actually tried so hard to get into politics right now, because I'm thinking, I mean, I feel like partially it feels like we are on a timer. I mean, I'm like thinking this election matters to me, because I don't want to have to wait another 4 years or even 2 years or
start talking about these things, or have the platform for it.
And I think because I'm seeing a lot of people our age who are losing faith. They're going through mental issues, they're going through housing issues, they're going through all these issues, and it's not getting addressed. And I feel like the media's and the politicians and a lot of other people are failing these people.
Sure.
So I'm like, when I brought up like before where we see ourselves in 5, 10, 20 years, I'm thinking about the next generation. It's not just us, because I guess we're young adults now, but I mean, I think I want to make sure everything, I mean, to say that Australia is one of the best countries in the world isn't like a far-fetched thing to say. It used to be called the lucky country. It still is called the lucky country. And I guess, well, my family's always been from a war-torn country. And I just whenever I look at it, like Australia, I think I'm so grateful to be here. And I think a lot of people just need to remember it. And it's not I know it seems like I'm being a cliche, or maybe I seem like naive or anything, but I'm just genuinely showing my gratitude to Australia, because I love the country. I love the place. And I think there's nothing wrong with just putting that word out there.
I guess you see the potential, especially as a young person.
Yeah, exactly.
If we are banding together, and that's a lot of the messaging that you have where it's like, guys, young people, let's get involved in our community. Let's care
Yeah.
about this a lot more. I guess that's what it is. You just see the potential of what can be done and how we can maximize the opportunities we've already been given from a place like Australia.
100%. Especially, I feel like so I've got other ideas going. I've actually talked to a lot of other. I guess this has actually been the perfect way to network, and I've met like a lot of young Africans who want to see changes in their community. So now we're trying to network. We're trying to make potentially new businesses. We're trying to do a lot of things that helps the community out as a whole. And because now since everybody, or I can actually give other people contact or say, I know this person, I know this person, this guy's got this skill, this guy's got this skill.
And they're giving your number out like crazy.
And so now it's like, now we actually, I think because everyone, like, I mean, forgive me if I was wrong, but it feels like a lot of the communities, especially African communities, they were acting as their own. So they're not really organized. They're not really, I mean, they might have cultural events, but it's not really, nothing's really happening with them afterwards. They happen and they go away, but nothing's really gained.
What's the direction that we move?
It's not directed. And instead of just doing that on a small scale, why don't we just do it on a larger scale with getting the most energetic and most charismatic people, putting them into the room. We have a game plan, and it could actually have real world results that we could see, and I think that would benefit like way more people than just a handful of people at the time.
Hey, we might need to chat after this, man.
Yeah. Oh well, thanks, man.
We
I
can
was going to ask your Sudanese, yeah?
It's South Sudanese,
South Sudanese, yeah, because I don't think we've mentioned it at all.
I definitely said it.
Here at the start?
He mentioned it, but we didn't talk about it.
No, it's all
okay.
good.
You probably did mention.
fine.
I think my mind was probably somewhere else. But because obviously I'm Sudanese as well, and there's just been a lot of conversation around the Sudanese community. First of all, you're the first like Sudanese to run or South Sudanese to run.
I've actually
there been.
Well, I've here recently in Melton, I believe so. But so I've actually got hit up from a woman in West Australia, who's the first councilwoman in her location. I had a phone call today with her, and
South Sudanese as well.
Yeah, and she was like one of the youngest women's, like youngest people in general to ever win a council.
Yeah, wow.
And I mean, she was so happy. She was like really polite, and she was like saying she was so happy to see my content. She's like wishing me the best. She said like as soon as I find out results, I should call her back. And I hope to get into contact with her.
Yeah.
And I hope we'll find out what the results are like this week. But I hope to like just make her, but the community proud.
Community proud, of
and
course.
I know I feel like we focus. I mean, I guess in high school, because of I don't know if I have got much of an accent or anything, but because of the way I sometimes sound, I wouldn't say I got demonized entirely, but I got criticized for how I would sound by not just like one community, but a lot of people. And now I've just realized it's something that sets me apart, but it's something that I want to use to unite people as a whole. Because it's I mean, I'm just being myself. It's like people were saying I was throwing on a fake accent online sometimes. And I'm like saying, I didn't even know I had an accent. Some people were saying,
well, we say this, the South Sudanese are the next phase of Australians.
Yeah.
Y'all are the strongest adopters of the accent.
Heavy.
So it's strong, it's ingrained there. Yeah. Well, on the topic of like networking and that as well then, I mean, what kind of, what spaces do you think this has now been able to put you into, since running and since getting a lot of attention, as well as, you've mentioned, the young lady you've been able to connect with, but who else have you been able to be put in contact with?
Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I was able to contact with, I've done like multiple, so I know a lot of family members who are actually, basically celebrities, and I grew up with people who were just people who are like myself, but they've done well. Yeah. So I don't want to name names. I don't know. It's like
tell us off
I will say this, like a family member wise, or somebody who's been close to our family. Say Peter Bull from who ran the Olympics. He
in front of the pod.
He's been on here twice.
Well, I haven't reached out to him, and I feel guilty for not doing it. I wanted to actually reach out to him sooner because he and my family as kids, we used to hang out, and and seeing him, he was like actually a huge inspiration for me to push myself.
Both running.
Yeah, well, running in a different way, but saying like him doing well himself was actually gave me a drive to say like, you know what, we're in this fantastic country, we should make the most of it.
Of course.
And with I guess I know my family, my mum especially, she's close friends with, or she's close family friends with, say, Jack Dorr from AFL, and a lot of other AFL young people getting involved in sports and being athletic. And I've also doing collabs with a lot of other TikTokers. Sadly, I can't think of their names right now. I don't want to get their names wrong. I don't want to get their names wrong because I only found like some of them just reached out, and some of them just got like huge followings, bigger than mine, like 20,000, 30,000, and I just want to reach out to them. And I also have a huge idea where we're starting businesses like say. How like other communities, not trying to stereotype, but like
how
they interact, like especially those in the Asian community where they keep
they're good at it.
Yeah,
They're really
and they
good
are.
at
So like see how they have wedding venues and
that's a big one.
and clubbing
That's a
and
big
such
one.
and like facilities. And I think having more of a community invested things where the
for
money goes
sure.
back. I mean, it's not going to be a deterrent to anybody from any other cultures from being involved if they want to be involved. I'm happy to have this being a multicultural place, but I think having those pushing myself out there would be the best way to do it, but also getting to connections to the people who would be invested. And I've had these conversations like 4 or 5 times with other young people, and they love the other ideas and everything. And I'm thinking like, maybe, I don't know how fast it would happen or what's the roadmap, how much it would cost financially, but we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
And
You know that this is what needs to happen. This is the next step.
yeah, and it's this next step. And if I can just get them in, I'm just, I guess, focused a lot on current politics right now. But I definitely want to focus more time. Once I'm available, I guess I wasn't even planning on saying all this stuff. But I'm happy I did, because if I can get the word out for those who are energetic, who also want to help,
get around the right people, man.
and then and I think just finding those people who have the same mentality would be the most ideal thing for all of us.
Yeah.
Bro, with the amount of weddings and celebration, henna parties, homecomings, bridal
Everything.
showers.
It doesn't make sense to not have
South
it.
Indian community needs to own a couple venues, a
real.
little
Yeah.
1-2 venue in Melbourne at this point, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. We have this thing where we think Melbourne networking events sometimes are scamming our people out of their money, and we need to curate these in more decisive, or what's the word here, man? More targeted ways to at least allow people to get value for their money. Because there's so many opportunities and times and places for people to be networking. But I like the way that you're saying you're plugging in with people that you're bringing that actionable conversation out of it. I wonder how many times people are walking away from a lot of the events that happen around
Saying
us.
I got something from this.
I got something and I'm ready to actually walk away.
And
with
that's
this.
and that's the plan, because I mean, I feel like we may as well capitalize on it, especially in this cycle where everyone's just doing their own thing. For the ones who want to see change. And I mean, it comes down to who's serious and who's not, because some of them, I guess, some people, who aren't serious, I guess they reveal themselves like soon on. Or it's about mentality. I mean, I'm not just looking for people who want to make a quick buck or anything. I want people who actually want to have put the community ahead as a whole and be like a united powerhouse in the near future, and that's the plan.
We need a live Michael Tat show, man.
Nah, man.
This might be what we need.
This is me being boring, man. I mean, I'm sometimes just I'm energetic where I just do random stuff where I like hobbies with I've done surfing a couple of times. I've done snowboarding. I've done I like games like pool. I like to just have a good time. And that's
What's your favorite anime?
I loved. I recently watched Demon Slayer.
How'd you know he was
And
watching that?
yeah, I know. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I
Bro,
mean,
you've got my vote again.
Demon Slayer this last season.
Did you watch the last season?
Oh yeah,
I
man.
watched it, yeah.
I binged it. I am the guy who binges.
Was it good though? Like this, the Hashira.
Yeah. I don't know if we can spoil.
I haven't watched it yet myself either.
Yeah,
but
you've watched it?
I haven't watched it. The
Oh,
last season.
okay. You're lucky, man. I was better.
It's good.
Yeah, bro, it was good. I watched it I watched it 2 times, bro. Bro, I
2 times? Wait, hold on. We're not going to press past that.
Right, he hasn't had time to watch it once. You watched it twice.
My guy.
Councilman, get to work.
The final episode's like a movie, man. Just so bro, it's good. I grew up watching. I mean, I shouldn't say I grew up watching. Demon Slayer's only been out, but
anime.
Yeah, but other animes I was watching were Attack on Titan. I loved Attack on Titan, man.
Yeah.
That was like a huge teenager phase for me.
Carry on, sorry.
Dragon Ball Z.
No me cheesing now. You know what? Anime is part of what probably inspired the passion and the delusion that is required to go into to run and believe that you have a change. Anime teaches you to make a change in your world. Guys.
Are we just not cool? Like, what are we? What are we missing out on?
Oh. Speak for yourself.
I swear last time we were talking about
I don't
anime,
watch it either,
you
but
weren't
I'm
an
cool.
anime fan.
Hey man, well,
Yeah.
do you watch anime or do you watch what shows do you watch?
Love Island.
Let's not talk about what I watch.
Okay.
But I don't watch
Married
anime.
at
I've
First
tried
Sight.
though. I've tried. What did you try to make me watch?
I'm watching
That
Spy
family
Family.
show, Spy Family.
I've only watched one anime.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said Spy Kids for a second.
Oh, no.
I was about to say I don't know Spy
No,
Family.
no,
Let this guy
Spy.
say his anime is watched.
Oh,
Listen.
I've only watched the Boondocks.
Boondocks,
Man thinks
it's not anime, but it's
His
not
anime
bad.
inspired.
style. Anime
Right.
inspired.
I mean, I gotta ask, who's your favorite Boondocks character?
My favorite Boondocks character?
Pimp named Slickback.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably put name Slickback. I reckon Stink Meaner.
Yeah, he's
before
funny.
he
used to
passed away,
annoy
didn't
me.
he?
Yeah.
Finally
Passed
died,
away,
right?
yeah.
And then he came back as like a
Um,
ghost.
I never hated a blind guy so much. Yeah, but what's your
Stink Meaner was
favorite
good.
character?
I think honestly, Riley is the most entertaining.
Riley with his gangster shorts
Yeah.
with the flap. Granddad is fashion.
That's what they're all wearing.
Gangsta style.
Well, I was gonna say all the episodes with Gangsta are the most exciting.
Bro, he was like, what? He wasn't it like basically an inside. I don't know if it's like an actual thing. If he was like meant to represent Diddy.
Yeah,
But,
I think it was.
that's funny.
I think it was. Yeah,
You
yeah. It was spoof on Diddy.
I didn't
Yeah.
even deep that. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
You got a favorite Boondocks character?
I said Riley as well, but that's the only like main character that I remember. Riley
Okay.
and his brother.
Need to run it
I
back.
gotta
Huey.
say,
Brother, sister?
Huey.
Huey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, he was my favorite.
Huey's a great one.
Right.
Was
Huey's
a girl?
balanced.
The black, what's that static thing? He had like a fist.
Black power.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like a. I'm not going into it, but it's like him. Just I think he was actually under
That
like
black consciousness.
yeah. He was like I don't know. I always loved Huey because he was like just like I guess the main character, of course, but like
How can we forget Uncle Ruckus?
Yeah,
yes.
Uncle Ruckus. It was gonna be either Uncle
I
Ruckus or
think
Stink Meaner.
one of my favorite lines from any show ever is when he goes, like, I just got my DNA test, 100% West African. Oh wait, 102% West African with 2% variation. How can this be?
Bro, he's like cool.
yo, you always said he had the opposite disease from Michael Jackson.
What did he say? Reverse vitiligo.
Yeah, reverse vitiligo.
I'm trying to remember episode 1 was the party, and then I think he was
Bro,
mad
that's
'cause
such a good
there was too
episode.
many black people or something at the
Yeah.
event or whatever, and he was losing his mind. I
Where
might need to
can you
run
watch
back.
it? Yeah, where can you
I
watch
might need
it?
to run back.
I feel like I can watch that every year once.
yeah.
That's this guy's office, man.
He's got like what like 90 jobs or something.
Damn, man, I forgot about Boondocks and everything I had in there, man.
It's a good show.
proper.
Music, what do you listen to?
What
You
gets you
know
in the
what?
zone to put up the best TikTok?
I don't follow like specific artists. I listen to music I like randomly.
Yeah.
So sometimes rap, sometimes just like pop, sometimes country even. I mean,
on.
yeah,
Nice.
man. I'm just like all over the
Scotty
place.
McCreery.
So, but you know, I just go through like favors. Like, you know, I guess where I know one of my favorite artists is, and I just like, I guess I just know the basics. Where something like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I play Thriller a lot. He's like a huge thing, but usually, a lot of the times my playlist is random music, like random.
Yeah,
like
you just let
I don't know.
Spotify curate it.
Yeah, it's like every genre of music happens. So it's like it might even be rock or some shit.
Bro, that's a roller coaster of
That's
emotions.
cool.
Yeah, if it
Listen
sounds
to the-
good, it
yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Then that's it. That's it for me.
Do you listen to Lil Durk at all?
Didn't you get arrested?
Okay, you know what? This is blowing my mind, and I love it so much. I wanted to talk about this, but now that you know, let's talk about it.
No, well, I only did, listen. I don't
You follow
listen-
academics.
No, I do not. Okay, listen. I do not. Okay, listen. You started using TikTok. I see.
Coming up on your feed.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, my feed.
Yeah,
Bro, you're getting the
it's coming
download
up.
of everything
And then
now,
I'm like
man.
seeing, like, I didn't even know who kingvon was until like
Yeah.
2 days ago about it.
You never heard
wow.
Took It to the O?
Nah, man. Yeah, I just like listened to like what happened, like why he got like he was just trying to avenge.
Very
King
bad
Von.
man.
I mean, man, I guess it's just like, yeah, I think. I mean,
That's part
you
of
can't-
that crime system and cycle we're talking
it's
about.
not.
there, bro.
Well, if you're talking about like American rap and everything, I think. Yeah, they made role models out of criminals. Like, let's be honest.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, so it's like you can't be surprised. I mean, like
Yeah.
criminal. I mean, like they're doing what they've always done.
What they've grown up in.
Yeah.
or what
Yeah,
is
it's
the
a
cycle.
shame. I always wondered, like, how are you going to be like rich and then go back to crime? I mean, it's-
honestly.
That's a
Yeah,
takeaway. Oh.
I mean, I was talking about this with a friend. I was just saying, like, I think a lot of these guys, especially you're talking like those Chicago drillers, like it's more than just crime. It's like they're addicted to the lifestyle. And of course, the upbringing that they're brought up with is just insane. But when you really, like, I don't know if you guys have actually fully heard King Von's story and like how this whole thing happened.
I looked into it, like,
and the girl that he falls in love with over Twitter, and then
I
he
didn't,
kills
know that.
her.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
it's
You haven't gone
honestly
deep enough on the
yeah,
TikTok
no,
rabbit
okay.
hole.
There's like a 2-hour YouTube documentary
I'll tell
that's
you how
all
I
made.
found out about King Von.
Go for it.
You know that cat, like that one cat that's currently on TikTok that's going around fighting random other cats on the street. This is
Oh,
like,
yeah. I've
And
seen
people
this
just
with the
say,
POV.
bro, people say it's a King Von of cats.
my
And I'm like,
days,
and then like the
bro.
next thing you know, I'm getting like little Durk me, like shit.
Oh
and
my
that's how I got it. And that's how I got it.
tapped
into
Bro,
it.
that's how I tapped into it. That one cat.
You seen the cat video?
Bro, yeah. And that's how that's literally how it is. I'm not kidding.
wow.
Yo,
So
hey,
now-
I thought I was the only person watching these cat videos, man.
Bro.
There's like a cat with a POV camera and he's just ducking people down, bro.
I don't think I've seen
Like
that
cats,
one.
other cats, my bad. Not
Yeah.
people, but other
Yeah.
cats. Yeah. Bro. Well, yeah, the whole Lil Durk stuff is kind of mad. Like, I mean, even just the whole situation,
Yeah.
even like just all of that, with King Von's passing, that being a hit, and then what's the guy's name again? Is the op that is trying to get, not Rudolph.
Quanda Ronda?
Quando Rondo. What I have Rudolph in my head.
Yeah.
Quando Rondo is obviously like Lil Durk puts out the hit, allegedly still, I guess we have to say.
Yeah.
Sends 5 guys onto a plane, pays for it all as well, with a card that leads back to the label.
Yeah.
Ends up being, I guess, they got the wrong guy even as well.
Well,
with
no,
it
so
all.
this is what happened. So I'm pretty sure this is how it went. It was
Allegedly.
they're beefing. Quanda Rondo and his crew are outside of a strip club or restaurant or whatever. King Von's crew run into him. They pull out guns and they just get King Von first, right? Wasn't meant to go that way, but that's what
I
happened.
told you taking it back, sir.
Yeah. And then eventually they retaliate and they kill Lil Pop or whatever, who's Quanda Rondo's homie instead of Quanda Rondo.
Yeah.
And then from there it kind of snowballs into this whole thing. It's just tough, man. Like that whole lifestyle and whatnot, it's like it just can't escape you. Like you can't
definitely
escape it.
I
Like,
was
it's-
thinking about how people could be so confident to talk crazy about other
when they
people.
know they've done this
Well,
stuff.
yeah, but because I was
Yeah.
watching that, I don't know if you know what's that? What's that song called again? Blind Walking Fast, Make My Way Downtown.
Walking.
Yeah.
What's that song called, man?
Wait,
1,000
that
Miles.
Peter, yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
I
miles.
saw the remake of a bunch of rappers who fucking,
Bro,
yeah,
so
yeah,
one
yeah,
rappers
yeah.
have been doing it,
That's
but
fully, like,
recently there was one on the golf course.
Yeah.
yeah.
Reckless talk on it. Sounded amazing. The
Yeah.
flows were immaculate. But
She
my
actually allowed them to sample that.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
She's hopefully getting good bread eventually. But like, I was watching this and I was just like, man, it's crazy that people actually are in a lifestyle where diss tracks, you really say really reckless things about people where, yeah, the people have passed away or people's family members and whatnot. I'm like, this is a crazy lifestyle to exist in. Like, how is this just normal for
Is this the
people?
American rappers?
American,
No,
but
the
even here in
UK one.
Australia
The
too,
UK ones were
UK
crazy.
UK one
They
is
did the Dumb
horrible.
Ways
The
to
Dumb
Die
Ways
one.
to
Yeah,
Die?
yeah.
Oh, that one was horrible.
But even now in Australia too, like we're hearing
Well,
a lot of stuff coming out of like Sydney
no.
Drill too as well.
To bring back the when rappers that did the golf course
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot the name of the song. I actually did. I barely listened to rap, but when
The
I
song
was,
is catchy.
that, I know the guy Fulio. He made one with
Oh, he got killed actually.
Yeah, he did a response.
Recently, yeah.
He did a response to that golf course one.
Right.
And he was on like somebody's grave or some shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and
It's gross how they do this,
but
bro.
I think since America does control, they basically have a huge they basically control pop culture as a whole, and it just I feel like especially for the black community, they just follow those paths. What was already set, even like long before we like even alive. With the 90s and 80s rap and everything. And I think we're just forgetting that. I mean, to end the cycle, because it's not just affecting American pop culture and everything.
Extends, bro.
Who I
It
smoke.
extends. And that's it, yeah.
Who I smoke.
But and I think we're just also seeing the results of something like you know I've seen like you guys actually covering Diddy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean he's like one of the I guess he would be like a founding figure in rap.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not like this is not like out of nowhere. It's not like a surprise that these guys are just not exactly good people. I mean it's just like
there's an establishment.
it's
that's
yeah,
behind this,
and,
right?
I guess it's like negativity does sell because let's be honest, it's hard to like be positive and do well like not in like so like on
like
entertainment.
that's why
wise.
Common's not. He's not pop and like
exactly.
the other guys.
And that's exactly. But if like if you go to a nightclub and you're hearing music that talks about how you're killing people or you're doing committing crime, I mean, I think it just makes it more. It just makes
It energizes
it
it.
energizes
Yeah.
the mentality of
We
crime.
say this all the time.
And I think that's something that we just need to make sure the next generation doesn't fall into the same cycle, especially in Australia.
I have to start the one after.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Yeah,
This one's a
I know, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like just talking this out, like you know, we just got to talk. We're all adults now, man. We're not doing like I mean, just be adults. Like let's just actually hash this shit out and see
Get to
like
the heart of it. What's the issue? What's the root issue?
and that's it.
What can we pay attention to as young people now? Then, what's your advice? Then, what should we be focusing on? I mean, you're a young person too, but you know, I like that this is something you think about on a daily. What do you think we should be paying attention to more and trying to, I guess, put our efforts in?
Well, I always just keep saying it. You have to be the change you want to see. So I feel like I mean I know a lot of things, especially with the history of how races and everything has been. That there's been a certain thing that was set in motion long before any of us were around. But I feel like we're in a stage of life where, especially in this, I mean, as much as everyone criticizes our generation and how humanity has been, humanity has never done this good. Like, look at this. I mean, look at where we are. I mean, we've just like even 10 years ago, we didn't even have something like phones. We didn't have like this basic stuff. I'm saying we should may as well take advantage of it instead of just doing everything that's our worst habits. We actually just start something new. I mean, and I think that's okay. I mean, to say, you got to be the role model for like, you know, other kids and everything. I got to be honest. I mean, I got a message from a woman like when I was starting with politics about a week ago, saying that she no, this is no. Like, well, listen, funny. I mean, no, it's not. It's just like this actually affected me more than I thought. She said that you know, because of what I'm doing, she was suicidal. But now, yeah, so she was like, you know, thinking about, you know, she was suicidal, and it wasn't until she saw my videos that she felt like, you know, she felt like she was so proud of what I was doing that she felt
that's
like,
actually crazy.
Yeah, and that affected me more than I thought. Until like recently, where I'm thinking, shit, I've actually became a role model, and I'm going to Woodgrove, I'm going to shopping centers, and people are just saying hi, and that's why I'm like thinking, I've got to try better because now people have put faith in me. This might have started off as a small thing, but if I'm helping people, genuinely helping people, I've actually got to do this as best as possible, and that's. I mean, I'll still be myself, but it means a lot to me. Yeah,
Sure.
I have two. Good.
I was just gonna say, how does that make you feel with the role model stuff? Because I mean, obviously, going into politics, you would be aware that people would be having eyes on you and watching you, and you know, interested in the moves you make and whatnot. But to now see exactly in real time like that, someone actually saying, "Yo, what you've done is
a crazy response."
This much. How much does that, I guess, affect you in terms of the weight that you feel like you've probably?
Well, I feel like I've just got to give it my all. I mean, I'm still right now. I actually like for the weekend. I was actually taking somewhat of a hiatus where I just stopped looking at. I was getting like spams of heaps of messages randomly and everything, and my only guilt is that I couldn't respond to everything. I couldn't like message everybody because it was just happening too frequently, and now I want to get back into it, but I've also have to get ready to get back into work and everything.
Yeah.
Because I still got like this is like I don't know how politics is gonna play out, but I still gotta play smart. I got other responsibilities, but I hope I can still keep this up one way or another. Like it's just something I didn't see coming in a short span of time.
Or at least to see it come to this level as well.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, I'm happy. I'm proud even. But I feel like there's nothing wrong with just admitting that I was reaching a limit, and I'm
I think it's healthy to do that.
And that's and a part of me was thinking shit. I don't know if this was like I already said it before. I don't know if this was like a 15-minute thing kind of thing. Yeah, and I need to make use of it now. I've got to say this. Got to say this. Got to say this. But now it's like I'm thinking. I mean, from what I can see, people are genuinely. I mean, it's not. I shouldn't be thinking how people who just want to be celebrities think. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just there's nothing wrong with taking a step back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it, and that's more than enough.
For sure. Random one. Do you have any faith that you
I was literally gonna ask this as
subscribe to, like any like yourself, like religious of any sort?
So my family's Catholic, and I used to have issues with religion. I used to be an atheist even, but I've actually gone back into faith. So I've actually reintroduced myself into I've actually been thinking a lot about religion during COVID. Yeah. So I've actually just put myself back into that faith because I feel like as much of a critique as people can give to religion, I think having that faith, I don't think it's a way out to have the reality of. I feel like a lot of people can get like put philosophy and then why you follow religion and everything, and I think there's people who want to think they're much more deeper thinkers than they are. But I think my religion really comes down to this. Instead of thinking about how you guys can get into heaven, I think making heaven on earth is more than enough. So I think just doing what you can do in your one life is better representation of what your religion stands for than anything where you're just preaching or praying alone, and that's how my religious belief comes down to.
Well, someone and I think I said this a couple episodes ago, maybe even as well. I was like, someone said it in the way that, especially with the Christian faith, that your citizenship is obviously elsewhere, it's heaven and whatnot, right? But there's a life that needs to live here, and you're meant to be an ambassador of that place that your citizenship is, right? And you don't buy your way into heaven either, but because of having already received that kind of a gift, that brings out a certain way that you live out your life. And the term you've used is bringing heaven here on earth, but it is ultimately being the hands and feet of God here in terms of what we do. Yeah. Actually showing people what that love looks like and how 100%. You can change that situation, impact future generations. Yeah. And all of that is not to try to get yourself into heaven, because it's like, that's done. You know what I mean? It's now about, okay, let's bring as many other people, I guess, as well.
I think that's a lot of critiques people have with, say, those who consider themselves Christians and Catholics. I mean, especially, it's just, and I don't even mean to, again, this is like, I don't want to shame them, or I don't want to basically say how my interpretation of faith is. Like it's not like that. I just think a lot of people look at how a lot of religion is practiced, not just by, like, say, Christians or Catholics, or how religion as a whole is practiced. Yeah. And I think that just actually probably deters people away from religion. And I think a lot of people, especially in our generation, is losing faith. And I think you're seeing the real world results of that.
And I was gonna say, my main thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, I love what the hope that faith brings. And in a generation that I see so much, like,
hopelessness.
Hopelessness.
Like, I think the decisions that you see our generations make
comes
is
out
a
of
result of hopelessness.
Yeah, and I'm like, I would love to see what our generation does look like to be so much more faith-filled, but then changing that conversation around what that is meant to look like. And that's something that I even personally, I'm like, I want to have that answer. Like, there's a verse that talks about always having an answer for your faith. I'm like, I want to develop that answer to ultimately bring hope to people, because I'm like, in our generation, we're seeing real-time effects of literally hopelessness. It's good, sad, but good way to put it. That's kind of what the disease is in our time.
Yeah. The other question I was going to ask is, let's say polls come in, you don't get the vote.
This guy's already
Let's find out.
What is your involvement with your community afterwards? How are you involved?
Well,
what are you part of?
I've always said, like, I'm looking at helping start off with helping, not just even me, just people who want to start businesses that help the community as a whole. But it's not just for Africans. I would want to do something that caters to everybody, like everybody in Australia. And it doesn't really matter how the community or like religion or anything like that would be involved. But also, I think since social media has taken off this well, like I reached over 12K followers in roughly a week.
Crazy.
And I just never saw it coming, but because of it, I'll be honest, I simply don't entirely know because
that's fair.
it's like
how week your life changed. So.
But and for the time being, I'm just we'll see how it goes. I don't want to get too cocky or ahead of myself. So I'm like, we'll see how. Basically, once I know the results, I can actually make plans.
Make that next decision.
I think I've got backup plans and everything, like organized, win or lose.
Yeah.
So now it just comes down to being a bit patient. Should find out the results sometime this week.
Yeah.
And that's for the time being, I'm in like limbo. So
Nah, take your rest and break from it as well. You know what I mean? And I guess what you're having now is people constantly calling, saying thank you so much, I'll support you, this, that. So
and
it is about even just planting the seeds of the conversation that you want people to start having. It's about now just letting that, even if politics or whatnot, but in the convos you're having with people, that can go somewhere else. So it's pretty dope.
And that's entirely it. I've only done like one other interview. I've done a couple of collabs with other people, but I never actually, I guess this is the first like long depth conversation. And it's a good thing. I mean, I feel like because my videos are so short, I have to try to cover everything so fast, and that's why I have to put so many texts. Because I feel like with TikTok and people have like a short attention span. Truth be told, so you've got to like cover a lot of everything. So I feel like I can't go into detail or anything. Or I feel like I don't want to bore people when I get to the specifics. It's like, and now it's like this. You know, I'm grateful you guys actually invited me on because.
I'm still shook it happened. Bro.
Bro, a week again. If you asked me like where I would be in 2 weeks' time, I would not have like imagined. I thought I'd be just at Macca's having like a double quarter pounder. And now I'm like, it's like, but we'll see how it goes. Because, I'm not trying to even just use social media for my own gain or anything. I'm happy just to be in council and just do basic stuff. What works for everyone's interest. And not just through council, but if I can put pressure on higher forms of government with state and federal and the courts especially, I think it could actually benefit more people than council looks like it would do. But again, I have to get back to you guys.
Man.
It's a long road.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
You know, I was gonna say Thames is coming next month. You should try and find a link up and get her to come down to Melton. People of Melton they would appreciate
Thames
it
and Melton
so much.
is insane.
Travis Scott and Nary, Thames and Melton.
Yeah,
Which one is crazy?
It can work.
I had a friend. Funny enough, the person who actually did my first interview, he went to a Travis Scott concert.
Yeah.
It looks crazy, bro.
I
thought after Astro World it would have
tamed out a little bit. Nah, he said let's turn it up more. You were here to rage.
Crazy.
Hey man,
yo. Honestly, I didn't think this would happen. The idea came through like yesterday. I get your number at 1 o'clock today properly. I give you a call, literally a 1 minute phone call. Wow. And I was like, do you want to jump on the pod? He's like, yeah. Just send me the address. Like, all right.
Bro, I agreed to like 3-4 other interviews. I feel guilty because I didn't even hit some of these people back. And then I'm looking at I have to go through my messages now, and I'm like thinking, it's like, we still on for tomorrow? I'm like, shit. It's like...
No, this is good. I'm glad this was your first one. It's coming out.
No, it was a really good conversation. I think I'm just inspired.
Sure.
In terms of what I like what you're saying, and I want to see more. I would love to see more people get around it. Like I'm pretty involved in community stuff and whatnot too. So to see someone take it to the next level of stepping into council, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna pick up the game a little bit here with what we do. So it's dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything you want to tell the people
or plug?
I think we've covered everything. It's like I don't know how long we've been here for.
It's been a while. Don't worry.
We've been cooking for
hour and a half-ish.
I mean, like if you don't mind me asking, compared to your other interviews, how did you reckon I went?
That's a banger.
Very great. Considering
Yeah.
this is your first one as well, I wouldn't have thought that this was your first like long, proper, in-depth interview.
Well, I've just I've always been I just kind of always just put myself out charismatic, like where you're just going in no
like it.
restraints.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for a while, for a long time, especially in high school, I was just like an awkward kind of weirdo where I'd have a sense
So-
of humor that wouldn't fit.
This is exactly who I thought you were in high school.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were. But I was like a well-meaning guy who probably not everyone understood or got. And like you just wanted everyone to get around good ideas and good
Yeah.
things. But now it's like, oh snap, people are paying attention to that. So I'm like, that's dope, man.
Yeah, I think what I really enjoyed is like, aside from the almost meme-ish nature of your last week, right? It's like to actually hear your ideas and your ideas around like Melton, and then specifically your ethnic community, and then Australia in general, and like all that. I'm like, it's actually very dope. Like, I like the substance behind it all. I'm like, there's actual.
He's real,
value.
guys.
Yeah.
He's real.
There's value
And he
here, yeah.
actually
I'm
ran.
not a myth. I'm not a myth. But I was wondering, like, is there any videos that you guys think I should gravitate towards? I don't know if like sticking to amateurish, like being like an amateur in most of my vids is what gets me
I
favor.
like what to move. But I think people would really like this, like you going around and like touring Melton almost kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think what connects with people in general is people.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you can show off the people of your area,
Yeah.
and kind of be like the people's champ.
Yes.
Right. Like I think people naturally over time as well really kind of go like, oh, like Michael's the one that puts people on.
He's been about.
And then it's like they know that it's like, yo, like that guy represents our community.
No,
He cares
I
about our
I think
community.
it's that whole thing of touching grass, like
Yeah.
be around with the people.
Well, I hope to like improve. I mean, I want to make self improvements. I feel like I'm better than I was when I started off.
Yeah.
But if I can also become like the leader everybody, I guess, wants to see. I mean, I guess I just gotta start. Like, I guess this is like me starting out phase, and I don't know where I would be in a year or 2 years time.
Of
But
course.
we'll see if I can change myself and be better, but still keep being myself in a weird way.
King of
But-
Australia.
Yeah,
King of
who knows? Who knows? But I gotta ask,
You're not gonna have a good one with that.
I gotta
Hey.
ask, what's your favorite video I've put out so far?
I like the collab where you were putting up the basketball net.
Oh, yeah.
That did really well, but I also just really liked it.
What was I'm trying to remember what it was about again, but the one where you're just on like a mountain almost, bro. And you
It's on the Melton Hospital land.
That one.
Very
at the
That was
expense of the land.
that was like my
that
friend's
one-
family owns a huge farmland.
yeah.
They own like massive property, and I'm like thinking, you know what? I'm just gonna. I was already leaving my council election. Like I became a nominee, but
Yeah.
I was doing almost next to nothing at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, shit. I
might
actually.
need to do something.
Yeah, I'm wearing this fancy shit. I may as well just like make a video. And I'm like thinking, you know what? And then like ever since then, I've been running with what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And,
I love it.
So that's
Yeah, not my favorite one, but it was like interesting. But the altercation you had at the train station as well.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
bro.
You know what I mean?
What happened was
What had happened was
so it was
How
essentially.
much drink do you have in that, by the way?
I'm
How
doing
is it
sips.
not finished?
I'm doing sips. I'm sorry. I know. I'm thinking shit. They're probably getting annoyed.
There's a
with me.
lot in
Nah,
there.
it's calm.
No. But it's like it's.
We're running out now.
I'll score it. But
Yeah. Charlie.
what happened was me like recording and stuff.
Yeah.
One guy didn't like. I think because I asked the lady. I mean, there's a woman when I was starting off recording there. It seemed like she was recording me like secretly. She was just recording me secretly.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I asked like if she can actually send me her recording like she got from my angle because I wanted to see.
getting multiple.
But she got. I think she got panicked, bro. She got scared.
got scared.
But it's like I was saying it's fine and everything. And I actually think the guy who he was an Aboriginal guy, I believe. I think he was trying to do the right thing, but he
Step in for her
yeah,
kind of
and
thing, yeah.
he was like so when I was recording it, I think they just thought I was like recording everybody there,
Right, right.
and it was because I guess I did since I do things unorthodox. I mean, who the hell would have thought I was running for council? So,
Hey, I love the self-awareness. It's actually amazing.
but essentially, I went to like I started on one side of the train, and I was just talking about I had to wait for a long time for a train.
Man, did so well, and it got done, bro.
And then I went to another one.
It.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, this is actually a great conversation because it addresses two of my issues, like the train waits and crime. But it's only because I only say it's crime because the guy, he reached in his pocket and he was like going in, like he was stepping up to me, and I was thinking, shit, I didn't know what the was going to happen. I mean, I was like, shit. And I'm thinking like, I mean, I talked him down. It was like we had like a 6-minute conversation, and I was like thinking, I mean, he actually asked me to like if I wanted to go back with him on the train ride, and I'm like, oh, I'm like that shit.
No.
He was
No
like, good
thanks,
guy.
just vote 1 for Michael Tat.
Hey, but it's like, it's like because the train was coming soon. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna head home. Yeah, but
What an experience, man.
yeah, so it's it was just like one hell of an experience, but it was like, and that's like I've been using that format since then because it was one of the earliest videos I made, and I'm thinking, shit, putting myself in random situation is probably the best way to set me in apart. So that's how I post. Instead of posting every one of my events at once.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you see my bloopers.
No, not yet.
No?
I need to check it out.
Yeah, so I make bloopers where with every mistake I made, and I basically I swear and everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but like I feel like that just shows. I put them bit by bit, and then I just show that I'm still again learning, especially with social media. And I'm surprised I actually talked this well so far. Like not like sounding too all over the place.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm probably like still not perfect at even this, and I just figured being myself is the best way to go.
It's the best way.
Yeah, because I think the more I take myself serious, that's when I make more mistakes.
Well, I mean, also to be honest, I think if you're not presenting a lie, once you are in those positions, you are not disappointing to anyone because
you have to keep building on the lie.
you're getting what I told you you're gonna get. Yeah.
Now, hey man, you can join the Mount Rushmore of other great Michaels, man. Let's see.
Jackson, Tyson, Jordan.
Come on, man. Bublé. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he hasn't done anything crazy, bro. But
Yeah, who knows?
hey, that was
Thank you
dope.
for joining us. Where can they follow you? I mean, they know where they can follow you. That's why they're here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this one around. If you're in Melton, head to My Mate's Pizza outside of Woodgrove Shopping Center.
Yes, sir.
And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
I'm
it.
happy to be here.
Michael's fun.
Tat
Thanks
man,
for
hot
the
off the press.
That's it.
Wish me luck, guys.
That's it.
All right,
man.
peace out.
Peace.
See you guys next week.